more with your tasks or results?
I was stuck, trying everything, but nothing moved. Calls, messages, follow ups, a full day of effort with zero progress.
What is the real meaning of multiply?
There was this thinking of doing more, push harder, try again, but something inside said pause.
Is there a time when nothing moved for you, no matter how much you did?
So I stopped, not to give up, but to think differently.
Did you go through a time when there were multiple tasks for you in your portfolio?
I sent one clear, honest message. Without support, there can be no progress.
Sometimes did you decide that you have to do even more, and more?
And suddenly things shifted. Responses came, moments started. That is when I realized something simple but very powerful.
Do you know what? You have to pause and think differently.
If multiplication comes from doing more effort, more action, more hurdle, more hustle.
What do you want?
But that's not true. Real multiplication is different. You don't multiply by doing more. You multiply by becoming more.
What do you feel in between?
When you grow, your thinking expands, your clarity improves, your presence strengthens.
Multiplying is not doing more, it is to become more.
And then everything even else follows. Your skills multiply, your impact multiplies, your wealth multiplies.
So, how do I do this? Become more?
Not because you worked harder, but because you became better.
Nobody teaches you self multiplication.
Most people stay stuck here. They keep multiplying tasks, but never multiply themselves.
But do you realize that growing means more skills, more impact, and more wealth?
That is the real block. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, are you multiplying tasks or yourself? Because that one answer can change everything.
All right, let's get right into it. Have you ever had one of those days, or maybe even one of those weeks, where you are just constantly busy? You're checking things off your to-do list, you're running around, but at the end of it all, you just feel like you haven't actually gone anywhere? You're scaling your tasks, sure, but are you scaling yourself? Today, we're going to talk about that powerful shift, that move from just doing to truly becoming. And that right there is the big question, isn't it? It's the one we're really digging into today. It's not just about what you get done, it's about who you're turning into along the way. And just asking yourself that question, well, it can change everything. So let's start with a feeling I think pretty much everyone knows, that feeling of being completely and totally stuck. It's this universal experience, and it's a question that echoes through some of the greatest stories we tell. I mean, think about it. This feeling is at the heart of so many stories we love. You've got Moana asking, "Who am I?" You've got Simba wondering, "Is this my place?" And really, we're all asking our own version of that, aren't we? Am I just running on a hamster wheel of tasks, or am I actually growing into the person I want to be? Okay, so to make this really hit home, let's move away from the big epic stories and look at a real, tangible example of what being stuck actually feels like on just a normal workday. Here it is, the anatomy of a truly frustrating day. It all starts at 10:30 in the morning with what seems like a simple goal. Just upload some documents. But then the hours start to tick by. You ask for help, you send emails, you make calls, and you get crickets. Nothing. By 4:30 p.m., that's 6 hours later, absolutely zero progress has been made. And the feeling that sinks in, it's not just tired, it's feeling small. And that's really the core of it, right? It's that deep exhaustion that doesn't come from hard work, but from work that goes nowhere. It's that feeling of pushing with all your might against a solid brick wall that just will not budge. But here's the thing about being stuck. There's always a potential turning point. So let's see what happens next, because this is all about the crucial shift from just pushing harder to leading smarter. What if, instead of just trying another 6 hours of the same old thing, a single, different kind of action could shatter the whole pattern? This is the idea of a pattern interrupt. One small move that totally changes the game. And this was the move. At 4:30 p.m., after all that frustration, one single clear email goes out to everyone involved. It's not angry, it's not blaming anyone, it just states the simple reality of the situation. Without help, no progress. And the result? A reply came back in 10 minutes. And just like that, everything started moving again. This right here, this is the light bulb moment, the big insight. The change didn't come from more effort or more pushing, it came from a new approach. It was that moment of realizing, you know what, I have to stop pushing and start leading this situation. And that personal breakthrough, that incredible shift from pushing to leading, that's actually the seed of a much, much bigger idea. It's a whole philosophy that grew out of this one experience, a vision called green wealth, and it's all about growing together. And the vision for this whole idea came from a dream, one filled with these really powerful images. The idea of being a steady anchor for people, like the North Star. The feeling of living like a small, close-knit family, eating together, sharing what you have. And this beautiful idea of rising up, not in a competitive way, but playfully, together. So at its core, this is green wealth. It's not about what one person can get for themselves. It's about building a world where we all grow, and we can still sit down together and share a meal. It's about making sure that no one gets left behind. It's the ultimate shift from I'm stuck to how can we get unstuck together? Okay, so this is a beautiful vision, right? But how do you actually make it happen in your own life? How do you go from just doing tasks to creating a life of real significance? Well, that's where this clear strategy called Revitalex comes into play. The Revitalex strategy is basically a roadmap made up of 6 key questions you can ask yourself. It starts with R for resilience. When things get tough, can you keep going? Then V for vision. Can you see the bigger picture beyond today's to-do list? T for time. Where's your energy really going? A for acceptance. Can you actually ask for and accept help? L for legacy. Are you building a community around you? And finally, X for expansion. Are you truly committed to growing with other people? It's a path that takes you from pushing to leading. When you really boil it all down, it comes down to this simple, powerful choice. Are you chasing more tasks, a longer to-do list, or are you investing in more you, in your growth, your well-being, and your significance? And that brings us right back around to where we started. See, this isn't really about productivity hacks. It's about your identity. It's about the final choice you make every single day, about who you want to become. And that choice is crystal clear. You can pick the path of doing everything alone, of just continuing to push against that wall by yourself. Or you can choose the path of green wealth, the path of growing with people, of leading, of sharing, and rising up together. So, I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. In your own life, in your work, right now, are you the one who's stuck pushing against the wall, or are you the one who's ready to lead, to connect, and to rise? The choice, as always, is yours.
So that is what green wealth is. A cleaner, calmer, cooler, greener, richer world. So if you want to have the answer to this, then come join my Sunday session at 3:30 p.m. It will be a 45 minutes one-to-one discovery call, and we'll discover your own growth map, roadmap for creation of green wealth and what it is like to become more.